Lately, I've noticed a direct correlation between how glowing and rosy some men are about parenting and how involved they are in the actual parenting. Like, if they're like, oh, I can't wait to have 3, 4, 5 kids, then they probably don't do shit. But if they're like, I can't wait for a stranger to hack through my vas deferens, then they're probably getting stuff done.
Let's talk about why most modern women don't want to have kids. Let's talk about the child-free by choice controversy. It's a controversy online, and most modern women are pushing this narrative or believe that they don't need kids. They don't want kids. First, it was they don't need men, and now they don't need kids.
I mean, I just don't understand how you don't want your legacy to be carried on, bro. I mean, I just don't understand how you don't want your legacy to be carried on, bro. Like,
my legacy is me. My legacy is not my kids. My legacy is me. My legacy is my show. My legacy is Amani. My legacy is not my kids, because average people will be like, oh, I want a legacy, but you're average. You live like a peasant. So what is your legacy? Let's say that you are above average. You're a millionaire. You're brilliant. You've made all these contributions to society. Your kid could come out to be a crackhead. Your kids could come out to be a school shooter. And that's the legacy? That's your legacy? I don't think that legacies, people even really know what they mean, because your legacy starts with you. And if you don't have a legacy in your name, your kids ain't got shit to do with your legacy. People think that a legacy is just having kids. No, your legacy is what you set your kids up for. And a lot of people don't got 2 fucking pennies to rub together, but want to have kids and a legacy. What fucking legacy do you have? A legacy of debt? You are an everyday average citizen, sir.
So you consider, that's so fucking selfish, bro. So
no,
selfish.
Actually, it's selfish to have kids because you think that you're so great that you're going to pass on something great to your kids, to the world. You're not that great.
They must reduce everything to an element or byproduct of operate out of emotion, not strategy, logic, or reason. They are guided by their feelings, not intellect. To them, a legacy is nothing more than f***ing and making a baby. They are reductionists. What is a legacy? A gift by will, especially of money or other personal property, to bequest, something transmitted by or received from an ancestor or predecessor or from the past. In order for something to be a legacy, there must be a transmission of money or resources. Being a buck on a plantation does not give you a legacy. Don't get it twisted. You're just a buck on a plantation. Think fast. Who invented dynamite? Dynamite was invented to create. Dynamite was invented to help people in building and mining. But people began using the invention for war. They used the invention to destroy, to hurt, and to kill people. That was not his intention. He wanted his inventions to help people. So before he died, he decided to leave all of the money that he earned from his inventions to create 5 special awards. He decided to leave all of his money to create the 5 Nobel Prizes. The man who invented dynamite was Alfred Nobel. The Nobel Prize of Physiology or Medicine, the Nobel Prize in Chemistry, the Nobel Prize in Physics, the Nobel Prize in Literature, and the Nobel Peace Prize. The man who made millions of dollars by inventing dynamite did not want death and destruction to be his legacy. That man chose to take all of his money and create a legacy that's rooted in peace, academics, and science. You know his name because of the Nobel Peace Prize. You know his name because of peace. You do not know his name because of dynamite. You do not know his name because of war and destruction. That is a legacy. Don't get this twisted. You just a buck on a plantation.
I have been saying this for years. Children are not legacies. A lot of men talk about how much they want to leave a legacy behind by having a child. And my response to that, you want to leave a legacy? Build a school. Contribute to a hospital, start a scholarship program, feed the homeless. Legacy cannot be carried out with a child. I think it's very weird how people project their legacy onto children who are going to go on and live their lives and do their own thing. Your children is not your legacy. Your legacy is what you do while you are here. Children are what you leave behind. At the end of the day, they're also going to disappear too. You want to build a legacy? Think about foundations that you can build. Think about schools that you can build. Think about causes that you can start. Think about causes that you can contribute to. Think about charities that you're really passionate about. Stop projecting all of your desires, wants, and needs to be carried out with this child. Your child is not your legacy. You do with this life while you're here, what you leave behind is.
People make it seem like just because you have kids that you all of a sudden have one. But we all know people don't use words the right way, so I'm going to help you all out real quick. Legacy, a noun. First definition, an amount of money or property left to someone in a will. Sentence, My grandmother died and unexpectedly left me a small legacy. Okay, cool. Second definition, the long-lasting impact of particular events, actions, etc. that took place in the past or of a person's life. He left us a rich legacy of buildings that are both innovative architectural creations and genuine works of art. So if we go based off of the definition provided by Google and Webster's Dictionary, then we know that a legacy has absolutely nothing to do with someone's kids. Just because you have babies does not mean that you all of a sudden have a legacy. It is your actions, behaviors, personal accomplishments, and what you've done throughout your life that leaves behind a legacy. So let's say you do have kids. Guess what? That don't mean that you have a legacy. Your kids are going to be their own person, and their choices, their decisions, their livelihood will be a legacy of their own to leave behind. And this message is specifically for men. Please stop telling women that you want to have a legacy. Please stop making it seem like just because a woman don't want to have kids, that she not going to have a legacy to leave behind. That young lady went into very strict detail and mentioned that her legacy is going to be her show, her actions, her behaviors, the impact that she left on the people around her. And I see no problem with that, because the fact of the matter is that is what a legacy is. Your legacy is the impact you leave behind, not the people or the people that you create. I really be wondering if y'all ever paid attention in school, or if y'all ever had to do those assignments where you had to like write down 10 words and look up the definition and write it in a sentence 5 times. Was that just my school because we was bad or something? I don't know, but everybody uses Google. Y'all just don't be using it right. That's what I'm convinced at this point.
I don't believe you created a legacy just because you had children. Really shakes the room sometimes, but I don't give a
Some of y'all want to so desperately have children to quote unquote leave behind a legacy because that's the only thing you're capable of accomplishing.
We need to take the mics. We need to take the podcast mics, and we need to take them now. We needed to take them years ago. But I'm sick of this, man. Like, your legacy, you don't have no money. Like, your legacy, what do you have to pass down besides maybe diabetes and like being an annoying ass person? Like, you have nothing, and that's no shade, because neither do I. But like, what are you passing to your kids, bro? Like, what? Y'all not even around for these damn kids to be talking about, oh, a legacy, oh, a legacy. A legacy is more than just having a last name. There are a million fucking Johnsons, Jacksons, Washingtons around here. What are you passing down? I was going to say no shade, but that was a lie. That's definitely shade, because I'm tired of y'all saying this dumb shit. Who is your great-great-granddaddy? Who's your great-granddaddy? Hell, for some of y'all, who is your granddaddy? What legacy are we talking about here? I need y'all to be so for real.
I'm not the only one who is so tired of hearing this as a reason to have children. Every time someone to pass on your legacy, the whole time, the legacy that they're trying to pass on is the amount of messages that they have unreplied, camping up in women's DM. For you people looking to pass legacy on, if they ask you what exactly it is that you are recognized for, what is it? See someone who cannot fully take care of themselves talking about oh, my lineage has to continue. What is the lineage doing for you now that is going to do for the person that you want to bring into the world? Because there's the possibility that I might be getting it all wrong. Maybe the legacy that they're trying to pass on is the amount of generational trauma that they do not want to break the cycle. They're working on something that could be publicly recognized as an achievement. What have you done to help yourself grow? All time, the legacy that you guys want to pass on is poverty.
Where I learned that I can agree and disagree with my sister at the same time. Think about the Wayans brothers. Their parents, what did their parents do? We don't know. They was hunching though. And then every single time that they had a kid, they was making money. They was all funny. They was all moving, breaking. So, baby, a legacy is your babies. But it's about how much you promoting them, how much they promoting themselves, how self-motivated are they, how self-motivated are you, what you put in them, what do they use, who they hanging around, what resources are they using. That ties into your legacy. So, yes, you gotta have kids to have a legacy. I'm not going to say it like that. I mean, if you great, be great. But a lot of us, need some generational help. You know what I'm saying?
I love what she said so much, because people kill me with this legacy and then they gaslight you by calling you selfish. First of all, I've never met Martin Luther King or Malcolm X's children, and I am well aware of their legacy. And their legacy has impacted millions of people who have never met their children. And as far as the selfish idea of not having children, it's so selfish. But I would challenge anyone, and this is a genuine challenge. Respond to this TikTok with a reason to have kids that isn't selfish. Respond with a reason to have kids that is actually about the kid. I would love to hear it. Because in all my years of people telling me you just gotta have children, it's selfish not to have children, I have never heard a single reason for having children that has anything to do with the child. It is always about what the child is going to do for the parents or the world after they arrive. It is never about the person before they're here.
Women's legacies aren't carried on. That's the issue. Why would I risk my life having a child with someone and my last name isn't carried on? My accomplishments aren't carried on, especially in a world where people who look like me, women who look like me, are the ones who are more accomplished. The issue we keep running into is that you guys don't view your kids as children. You view them as extensions of yourselves. So you want them to exist only in your honor, not in their own. But you don't have the ability to have them. And that's your irritation. You want all the glitz, glam, and glory of having a child with your last name, but you don't have the ability to have them. And the way society is working right now, you don't even have the accolades to carry on a so-called last name legacy. So why is it that because you were born with your genitalia and your reproductive organs on the outside of your body, I must risk my life as a woman, as a black woman in the United States, carrying on your last name when I have more accolades? Risking my life to have your legacy is no longer a benefit for women.
What is the legacy that these children are carrying on? Like, we have a legacy of being black folks. We have a legacy of being resilient people, thriving people, powerful people. Yes, that is in who we are as black folks. There's legacy in which, being from the South or the Midwest, so on and so forth. But I miss the conversation of you build a legacy before you build bearers of the legacy. And this isn't a conversation about when people should have babies, all this other stuff. Your body, your choice. You want to procreate. That's not my ministry. Auntie love the kids. Auntie don't want to raise the kids. However, as a person who has been thoughtful about my legacy and how my nephews, my nieces, my siblings, people who are other black folks, anybody who is connected to any identity I carry, how I'm a part of their journey because we're connected, I have been deeply thoughtful about what I create and what I'm a part of in this life that makes it to where if my name is carried on, it's carried on not as a burden, but it's carried on as joy. It's carried on as a skeleton key. Part of legacy is to get people in spaces that they might not have gotten in simply because they're connected to you. That's some of the work we do in this life.
When men say they want kids, I push. Why? First response I get is usually they want to be a father. Makes sense, but you can be a father to kids that are not biologically related to you. Ask why it's important for their kids to be biological. So many say legacy. This isn't Game of Thrones.
I can't be the only one who realizes that most of the Gen Zs, the millennials, the people who don't want to have children, who don't want to get married, are the ones who think a lot about life. They're the ones who have self-awareness. They're the ones who have many considerations for not having kids, for not getting married, because they think they will not be good parents. They don't want to pass down something bad about life and about themselves to their future children. They basically think a lot. They overthink. I'm not saying all of them, it's just most of them based on my point of view. But at the same time, we can see a lot of teen pregnancies out there. We can see a lot of immature couple who confidently decided to get married because they think they can do it, because they just want to have sex, and they produce babies, but they don't know how to take care of them well. They don't know how to raise a child well. But they just confidently do it. Isn't it ironic? And I just don't want to imagine the world 25 years later will be full of the children who are raised by those immature couples. They're gonna rule the world, aren't they? Because we will be old someday. We will be old and we will be dead. And the one who runs the world are the children of those immature couples, because you overthink too much. I'm sorry,
Why is it when you put boys together, they just lose all composure and act like little children?
Because
Because it's fun to be immature, and that's what we are. We're immature. Us lads are like Peter Pan. We never wanted to grow up, but we were forced to provide, to protect, to parent. So when we're together, it goes out the window and we have fun. And you women are just jealous because the last thing you like seeing is your man having fun. And this is how I know you're jealous, because you've always wanted to be part of our fun, immature man club. You have. Think about it. Back in the 60s, women had big bushes on their fanny. Then the 70s, smaller bushes. 80s, little bushes. 90s and 2000s, completely shaved. Now half of you have got cocks. So don't tell me you don't want to be part of the gang.
Men do not want children.
Yes, that was a very blanket statement. I'm not saying that. I just want to add something. Especially for younger women, or you have a pattern of men always trying to trap you and threaten you with getting you pregnant. Those type of men, based off of my observation and knowing those type of guys in the past, they literally, in their jumbled minds, view women as property. It is not to be flattered by. It is not a compliment. It is a collection. Think of Future, part of my collection. The men don't care about them children. You are just a collection in a resume and a portfolio of what he was able to collect. If he has money, he's going to play the narcissistic images if he cares by being known as the dad that takes care of them monetarily, but emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and energetically is them kids and you. So watch yourself before you get trapped thinking that is cute, because it's not, and it's all a game.
Lately, I've noticed a direct correlation between how glowing and rosy some men are about parenting and how involved they are in the actual parenting. Like, if they're like, oh, I can't wait to have 3, 4, 5 kids, then they probably don't do shit. But if they're like, I can't wait for a stranger to hack through my vast deferens, then they're probably getting stuff done.
Let's talk about why most modern women don't want to have kids. Let's talk about the child-free by choice controversy. It's a controversy online, and most modern women are pushing this narrative or believe that they don't need kids. They don't want kids. First, it was they don't need men, and now they don't need kids.
I mean, I just don't understand how you don't want your legacy to be carried on, bro.